everybody, and welcome back to CK Café. Thanks for tuning in to CK Café once again. We appreciate you being here. As always, I'm Ethan.
I'm Rosie.
And today we have a fantastic filmmaker joining us, Diego Murillo, who started a wonderful collective called El Fantasmas. He does a ton of different things, honestly. He's a filmmaker, director, writer, editor, just about everything. Has a few different projects that are out right now, including a feature film that's doing the festival circuit, a bunch of shorts, and an upcoming feature that he's working on getting funded. It's a wonderful conversation that we had with him. I really am excited about it.
Me as well. And he's definitely a filmmaker to watch. So make sure you follow him at the end of the episode and stay tuned with everything he has coming up.
Without further ado, here's our conversation with Mr. Diego. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to CK Cafe. I'm here, as always, with Miss Rosie Dean, and we got the amazing Diego Murillo. How you doing, my friend? Welcome.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you so much for hopping on. We appreciate you coming on the show.
Absolutely. No, thank you for having me and inviting me.
Of course.
It's a beautiful day outside, honestly. So
gorgeous.
Also, sorry that you have to be here with me talking. It's really
Hey,
we should have done it in a park.
Yeah. Next time we'll do it outside for the next one.
Nice.
For the next one. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, about what you do. You do quite a lot. You wear a lot of hats in the film world. So, want to hear all about what you do.
Yeah. Let me try to start. I guess start from the beginning. Yeah, I'm from Caracas, Venezuela. I've been here in New York 10 years almost in December. I left end of 2016. Situation was, still kind of crazy, but was really in one of its peak moments of the crisis, 2016. And I graduated I didn't study cinema. I studied like this weird kind of career that we have back home that kind of touches like audiovisual arts, but it's not cinema. It's like kind of like more like media. But not great university experience, horrible in terms of like wasting time, because I should have studied that, should have gone into more like just cinema or or nothing. But the university experience was really cool in terms of opening my world and stuff. But yeah, then I left and I came here. I didn't know I was going to stay. I came because my ex-wife came and I was just like following. I had to kind of like push to leave the country. So I came. And it kind of was, I had not too much time to make decisions. So yeah, I stayed. Then, the whole migration process of being undocumented and figuring all that stuff out, that takes years and years. Thanks God, thankfully all good. So my film work kind of started through migration and through leaving the country. Yeah. And I did have like a tiny short that I did back in college without any help from the university, I have to say it. And then I came here and I had it like, just in my laptop there waiting. And then I arrived, started working in service and restaurant stuff, hustling, and then trying to, just start up something of a life from zero. Yeah. In the winter, etc. And then I was able to put that short in some really small spaces. Then you start like seeing reality of like the guy being like, hey, like send me the file like for the projection and like, and then you send him like, oh wait, do you use like a pirate Premiere, because this file is like this is weird. And I'm like, no, I don't. Of course, in Venezuela that's what we do. And then just basically for 2 years I didn't do anything but save money to do like my first kind of like, I guess, more quote like professional short. Sure. That I did with my ex-wife. We did together. And first time with a crew. We didn't know anyone. We just started contacting people through the internet. I found like this DP through Vimeo, Brandon, which is amazing. He does a lot of commercial stuff. We did some crowdfunding plus our savings, and then very crazy like 1.5 day of shooting, so to be able to afford it, because in New York it's so expensive to work with a crew, so we had to shoot in those 2 days.
Wow.
And only like one PA. I was doing the catering as well, doing the calls while directing. My ex-wife was the lead too, so but that short, it was kind of like my entry into feeling like, oh, I think I have some way to get in and continue to make films. So yeah, premiered in C, just this short, really really cool, crazy experience, and then the problem was the pandemic came the next few months, because this was October 2019, so March 2020. I believe.
Yeah.
The pandemic came. I went back home for the first time in 4 years, because I got my papers and everything straight, visit family stuff, and I got trapped in Venezuela. I arrived to Caracas, and 1 week after, everything closed, completely shut
back.
down. 7 months, and I had my green card too, so I was worried, because I had to. With the green card, you had to spend 6 months at least here. But yeah, my ex-wife, family, like they're all doctors, so insane situation. Trapped there 7 months, so it was a time of like financially it destroyed us.
Yeah.
But at least I didn't work in the restaurant for 7 months. I had that break, and I just wrote a lot and watched a lot of movies in my phone with the I can curse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with the shitty internet from Venezuela. And that period, we came back. We came back in a humanitarian flight through Mexico in a crazy airport, like literally like a airport in the middle of nowhere outside Mexico City. And coming back again was like, okay, fuck, I have to put again this filmmaking thing, because I was going to France to a festival. Anyway, all the festivals after the premiere, all canceled or online or canceled. I had tickets to go from Venezuela to France to this Cine Latino Toulouse, which is one of the biggest Latin American festivals in France. All canceled. We won an award there. Doesn't matter, you lost all the opportunities. But anyway, all of that brought me to start making. My grandma was there and sick in Venezuela during the pandemic, and thanks God I was able to see her. I come back to Brooklyn, and she dies. And then I start like putting a lot of like pieces together, and again working a lot, like 3 different cafeterias, cafes, restaurant, because it's pandemic. It was nothing.
Yeah.
And then I started putting together a short with stuff that I recorded with my phone back home, slowly. And actually that short, then after a year, I think 2021, I was able to premiere it. That is called, the first one is Antílope. This one is Tal vez el infierno sea blanco, perhaps hell is white. And this short was kind of the first time that I was like felt like really free, controlled creatively, like every aspect, and very intimate, because it's kind of hybrid and it has my grandma stuff. But I wanted to like flip it and not make like a like a home grandma movie. I wanted to like make it a little bit distorted and altered. And actually, thanks to that short, then I got into this program in Locarno, the Spring Academy. A little bit after I met Ashley, and we were coming. I remember we went to Puerto Rico this trip. Like 3 months after we met, and it was incredible, beautiful. We came back from the plane, and I saw the news. I was like, wow, crazy. I felt again, oh shit, like maybe this is my career, my quote unquote whatever, like I can continue doing films, because through this film that I did with my phone, with nothing, I got the attention, and I got into this program. It's only like 10 filmmakers around the world, and you go there to Locarno, and you do a film in 12 days, in 2 weeks.
Ooh.
And then that was a really also life-changing experience, because the filmmaker there, Radu Jude, is a Romanian filmmaker that he's been growing more the last years, but he's been making movies for a long time. He works a lot with archives. We had to do a movie with archives, so I started getting more into archives, and that kind of like actually now it's concluding in me making a sort of like trilogy of films made only with a computer archive.
Oh wow! Super cool.
Stolen, repurposed footage. And, anyway, it really changed my perspective on many things, and it made me go more even into like more experimental, let's say, or less classic kinds of cinema, which is really cool. And in between all of that, also that short, trying to track back, that was we premiered. You do that short in March. You premiered in the festival in August, and then when I came back, I got the news of the Jerome Foundation that they founded. They gave me the grant for the feature.
One great
in
thing after
November.
another. That's amazing.
That was a whole year. That was 2023. And I've been making, it's kind of crazy, but I have like 7 shorts now. So I've been making shorts for so long. Back then I had 4, and I never thought I was going to get money for that feature. I started writing that when I was trapped in the pandemic, and it changed so much. I went to some workshops, online residency, like script residency, which I don't love, but I kind of was like, it's the only way to kind of maybe get into some sort of funding. Because it's a problem when you're here, you're an immigrant, you make movies, but you don't make movies that have the codes and that have the cultural baggage of here. Like I always say, like, oh, if you make a weird film, if it's at least a U.S. weird film, it's not the same as a weird Venezuelan film, you know.
Sure.
It's
in
not
the U.S. market.
In the U.S. market,
Mm-hmm.
because how you place it, how you like make it, you know, be seen. But anyway, I was like, I want to take this grant. I want to make this movie with this grant. With this, they give 30K. I was like, you know, fuck it. I don't care. We're gonna make this feature. And Eduardo, my producing partner, back then he really jumped into the project. He was going more back to Venezuela. He's from like a town 15-20 minutes outside. It's a little bit more like in the mountains. And this film was supposed to be in the Andean region because my ex-wife was in the her family's from there. We wrote it together.
Wow.
We got I got divorced, blah blah. Everything was like, you know, fuck this. I'm not gonna do the movie there. I got to change it to Caracas, but I can't make it in Caracas. The movie has a cow in it. Like, it's impossible. With 30K in the city, impossible. So Eduardo, that is from San Antonio, is like, okay, this is perfect. We have to make it in San Antonio because it's more small town, mountain. And he found a fucking water buffalo, and it was crazy. He was able to find a water buffalo, and he put together all the the crew. Richard, my other producing partner in Venezuela, pulled also set up like all this stuff, so we could do like a pre-production from here that started in December, all the way till March. So I was able to arrive and just be there for 2 weeks of pre, and then 2 weeks
filming
reserved for shooting. So a lot of it was done online with people scouting, sending stuff from here, there, because
that's amazing.
You can't go back and forth. You're gonna spend all that money.
Wow. And so you did a whole feature with 30,000.
Yeah, basically, because after taxes you get taken 10. Then we had to wait another year. The Venezuelan Film Institute was kind of like getting its, getting a little bit of life again, which now died. But back then, 2 years ago, it was. So we got another 10K from them for the post. But at the end, again, if you do the taxes, basically in cash it's just 30K, which is nothing. It was tough. We had to. It shaped the way this feature is made, because I was producing too, so I had to make really
you had to stretch that
tough
dollar.
decisions. I love static, I love still shots, but I have to just be like 90% of the film is still shots.
You got no choice.
Only 3 shots. If it doesn't, or if a sound comes in, let's adapt the sound into the
design,
narrative.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be very flexible with everything, and we only also took we did it in 9 days.
That is incredible.
9 days.
Incredible.
And, probably 90% of the film of what we shot is on the film.
That's amazing.
So very like non-industrial,
kind of
like hybrid approach to.
That's
was it
so
a
cool.
dialogue heavy film, or was it a lot of?
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Actually, it does, because I have been working. This was my first time on set before 2019.
Wow.
Because I was broke. I was
COVID
doing experimental
and
films and
my
computer.
Goodness.
First time on set, so I was like, I want to really explore dialogues, because I didn't. So it has a long conversations that the 2 main leads, Billy and Jessica, they told me I feel like I'm just like we're shooting theater. Theater.
That's great.
They stopped because it was one shot, 5 minutes running, and they were like, they felt like
sometimes that's like, I think with like micro budgets, that's the only way to get it done. It's like you have to have these longer conversations, because I think a lot of times in film people want to do this show don't tell, but in micro budget world you can't always show. You know, you don't always have the flexibility to go and
Yeah, you
shoot
can't
whatever.
make two shoots. Two
No.
shots. You can't make
No.
like. No, you have to do.
You
one.
have to
do
sometimes.
one.
Sometimes it relies on the dialogue, and I think that's really cool, man. What's the name of the film? What's
It's
it
called
about? Tell us a little more about it.
Sound is the body. El sonido es el cuerpo. Yeah, it's a little bit of a surrealist drama, so it's kind of airy. It moves in that space between, like, it does have a narrative, but it's kind of loose. But it's centered around this kind of like I think in English it's laicite. It's, you know, the when you're a priest but you're not working anymore. That has a word in English, in Spanish too, but I don't remember. It's
I don't
with
know
an
the
L.
word, but yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, yeah,
centered around this kind of like weird priest that is not a priest anymore, that is taking care of this buffalo
Okay.
in a house, and in the town it's kind of like empty, but
Wow.
nobody knows why. It's kind of like people are leaving, and then he's just sick with this kind of like sleeping disorder, that he hears weird noises and he just follows the noises, and he really doesn't know what the fuck is going on with him and with his body and his health. And yeah, kind of like revolves around the condition that he has, and him taking or trying to take care of the buffalo, because they want to take away the buffalo,
Yeah.
the remaining authorities. But also, again, it's a very mysterious. Not to
Wow.
focus on the reasons of things, but yeah, I guess yeah, it's a film to kind of like let go and embrace and try to not find too much concrete, I guess, answers.
That's
but
exciting.
it's cool because, I mean, yeah, people can make their own world.
I love
out of
movies
it.
like that, and especially I think that independent film allows you the opportunity to do that a little bit more, whereas, you know, larger commercial projects, sometimes there needs to be more of a you need to lay it out a little bit more for
Yeah, yeah,
audiences, and I find that with
absolutely.
indie film you can really explore things that
Because
allows
you
the
can
audience.
greenlight things without anybody else seeing the vision.
Yeah.
As long as you see what
Yeah.
it's gonna be, then
Yeah, you control
can make it.
almost all the aspects
Yeah.
of the film, which is yeah, it's always scary when you get into. We are developing, well, in between all of this 10 years, 9, 7, whatever years, I also like founded this collective studio, focus on past, trying to find Venezuelan filmmakers outside and exile, make connections and kind of like help other filmmakers. And I met
It's amazing.
Humberto in Argentina. Now he's in Iowa doing a master. I'm Richard Eduardo. We all kind of like formed this thing called El Fantasma, and now we're helping also other projects being made,
Yeah.
like finishing other projects. We just co-produced a Peruvian film of a friend. But also now, yeah, I said all this because now we are making actually a kind of like, I guess, still micro budget but bigger movie.
Yeah, with El
Uh,
Fantasma.
Yeah,
with
that
the
I'm
company.
directing and producing with Eduardo, Richard, Fiore Caribe, and that we have been developing for 2 years, but it's just the funding is
Yeah, it's
and
tough.
it has been in really cool spaces, but we really have struggled with the funding
Yeah.
because the U.S. doesn't have a fund. Like they
No.
have, for example, in Canada, that we've
Yeah.
been exploring the Telefond and trying to find co-producers in Canada. The U.S. doesn't have any of that, so it's really tough because this is like private money. But if you don't know the
Yeah.
people who are willing to give you 200, 300K just like that, donate. And
It's
we
hard
don't
to knock on those doors.
In
Yeah.
Venezuela, right now, again, it was kind of like getting some life, but the fund now is also
Oh,
dead. They
man.
kind of kill it. Hopefully in the future, we'll get back. But yeah, going back, movies like that, yeah, it's stressful because it's always a battle of like you get a lot of people involved, and you're like, you have to let go certain things. It's
Yeah.
impossible to produce a film of 700K at least, or 1 mil, which American standards again is nothing, but
Mm-hmm.
you're still gonna have people there,
Yeah, no,
telling
and
you what to do, I guess.
100%, and it feels very
tough.
challenging. I think these days more than ever to actually find funding, and like you said, the private money being the way to fund in the U.S. Unfortunately, and it's like, yeah, it's tough. I think oftentimes it feels like other indie filmmakers and indie creatives outside of film too have told me like it feels like you're just screaming into the void and saying like, hey, I have this project. Even you have awards, you got workshops, you've been in a bunch of things, and it's like still it almost feels like you can't get past it. But
No, it's
you know,
insane. I
insane.
hate it. I see the Europeans, they have it so, I mean, with their co-production system, they
Yeah,
do
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh yeah, this movie, Italy, Luxembourg, fucking Hungary,
Mhm.
the Canadians too, they have their fun, even in Latin America, at least like Brazil, Chile,
Colombia has
Ecuador,
some
Colombia,
stuff,
with they
Mhm.
have their stuff going on, and the US is such a weird beast in that sense.
And it's tough because even the deal with tax credits, I always try to tell
Uh-huh.
people, I think a lot of people just go like, oh, well, just go shoot it in Montana and then get this amazing tax credit. I'm
Mhm.
like,
Aren't you only
but-
eligible for the tax credit if it's like
of a certain amount.
$250,000 or
It
more?
could be
or
more. It
something?
depends. It's that's the thing I think people forget about. It's like, first off, in order to get a lot of these, be eligible for a lot of the programs that exist state to state, you need to have money raised. You need to show actual proof that this thing is happening before you
Yeah.
could even apply and then get accepted.
Yeah.
And I think a state like New York, which has such a competitive thing, is so hard.
I read yesterday. I read a post because I shared with Eduardo. About, I don't know, the Katie, the government did they did something there. I guess they invested now more money.
Yeah, it has
in New
increased
York,
in New York, but
it increased the thing with the
it's
tax.
a lot. It increased by a lot, but the problem with New York is that New York still has a minimum, and the minimum is typically 1 million. And the problem is that even with the 1 million, it still operates oftentimes as a lottery. So, there's so many projects I want to shoot in New York. There's so many companies. You got the large, massive studios from around the world
You need a big
who want to come
producer,
to New York, but then also the independent productions. So I think it gets really challenging. New York, New Jersey, California. It is super challenging. Georgia, I guess, too. It's hard to go and actually get these programs and these incentives. But, I always tell filmmakers, if you have a good project and you believe in it, you just got to find that right person to be that initial investor. Once you find that initial person, whether you're considering them an investor, a financial producer, whatever it is, to come on board of the project, help you with that initial bit of fundraising. I often find a lot of these offices, these film offices, are really helpful. Like we're shooting a movie out in Arizona, and we find that the film offices out there, they're super sweet. They're a smaller market. Films used to shoot in Arizona. They don't shoot in Arizona as much anymore. And they don't have a tax incentive in the same way that other states do, unfortunately. They do have something, but it's not really the same. But they have a film office that wants to help you, they want to help filmmakers. But you got to go out there, you got to meet these people, you got to talk to these people, break bread with these people. So I often find that it's a journey. It's a really long journey for independent filmmakers.
Yeah, we were talking before when Mr. Motorcycle was doing his big one. We were talking about connections and how a great way to build your connections in the industry is to do sort of what we all do, which is have a company that is more of an umbrella where you can get to know people in distribution and marketing and this and that, and then that group of people that you interact with in your work becomes like your network. And how much easier it is to get a film off the ground when you sort of have that network going. So I think that that's like something that we're all doing our best at, is like meeting people
and networking. I love what you're doing with your collective. I think that, like, as Rosie is alluding to as well, like this idea of building a network of like-minded people and filmmakers in the same position as you, being from Venezuela. I think there's like
it's
really special.
I think it's out of necessity.
Sure.
Although it brings really beautiful things. But I just can't imagine, because over here you feel again. Not being from here, it creates a space in your mind in which you feel already discouraged to kind of like, maybe by force, maybe not, but like, there's a friction of like I want to make, my movies back home, or if I make them, I want to make them about who I am or about what's on
where
my
I come
mind,
from.
and then
and
then it's this whole thing about like, but it's helped tremendously, honestly, now, especially at this moment that we've been growing, and it's a lot of hard work. People, I was in Venezuela now in 3 weeks ago, in a festival that a friend runs in Caracas, kind of like the only festival that now is alive. Really, really beautiful experience. We did a seminar there. With this trilogy and like doing movies through montage and through editing only, and also an expanded cinema project in a gallery with musicians, really cool stuff.
Really
and
cool.
People there, like, I also then when I'm there, I feel lucky, and I feel like I'm lucky that I was able to leave, and yeah, it's a lot of struggle, but again, a lot of luck, because if I stayed and I see the kids, and I try to go back again, put the money there, do the projects that I want to do, so much stuff, and try to go back, but it's been hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's been crazy. But you see that if I stay and I see them, like, it's impossible. I don't think I would have been able to make not even half of what I've made.
Yeah.
Which is sad, but yeah, that's the whole thing, and just growing to try to bring it back home. And then also kind of here, I guess the Venezuelan diaspora is kind of new, so we don't have too much communities around the U.S.
Yeah.
Mostly all in Miami, which is controversial too. So yeah, maybe if it grows, we can start having more spaces, because and I was talking to, this is also an interesting point, there's so many cool, let's brand it, let's say American, quote unquote, whatever, Usians, underground festivals, that risk, and they play fucking weird
low movies,
but all the Latin festivals are very classic. Chicago Latino, the New York Latino, San Francisco Latino, they don't risk, and they're like, there's no space for Latin American, more like avant-garde, more not even fully experimental,
but
more
art house,
risky,
yeah,
intense, weird films.
Mm-hmm.
But Americans have their spaces, you know.
Do you have interest in starting one someday?
A festival, not really, but we want to kind of like maybe jump into doing some sort of residency, but back home, and maybe then here, and maybe then remote, and maybe then two places. A residential space, a space of like creating films in the moment with a computer, or maybe just more in the terms of like not even the script, but more in the conception of projects. But a festival, my friend has a festival back home, and it's a lot of work. That is insane. That is
insane. Especially when you scale, like when you grow a festival, it's really when it's like a small series, and it's like, oh, we're just doing some screenings, is one thing, and then when it turns into like a thing, it's a lot. It's a lot of work. Well, dude, it's amazing. I feel like you got a lot of really cool stuff that you're working on. I love this emphasis on community, and I think you bring up a point that I think a lot of people who are part of a community feel, which is, I want to make stuff for my community, by my community, in my community,
to elevate my community.
Yeah. But I can't always, and and I understand that kind of frustration of like, I want to tell these stories, but I have to build this thing first, and then I can go and tell these stories. I think a lot of filmmakers feel that way, but it gets
also hard when you're trying to, where you're in a space of you're a person that wants to criticize both sides of the coin, and be intense and rough and critical about everything you consider that it's a problem, whether back home or the new home you built outside. I think for Venezuelans it's crazy that for Venezuelans in the US it's crazy, especially this year, but just in general. Being, I guess, in a way, from now, after so long, from these two places, it's like they open your brain like halfway, and it's a very weird situation. But there's also, that's the opportunity too to be.
It's a perspective that you have, though.
It's a perspective
that
I
think
it's
going to be 100%. And I think you'll be able to create. I'm excited to see what you create off of the perspective and the duality of having, being someone who lives here in the U.S., New York especially, which is such a specific kind of place.
Which is like its own country.
It's like, it feels like its own, it feels like its own little bubble sometimes. But, you have,
the best way. Thanks God, New York really.
It's true.
I have to say.
New York's a beautiful place. But, I think there's something very cool about that, and that what kind of art you'll end up creating because of those two backgrounds.
The film that we're developing, the Fiore Caribe, it's 50% meant to be shot around here. Ideally, it was born, the idea to be shot in Queens,
Wow.
That we started contemplating Canada because of the difficulties, and then 50% back home in Venezuela. So that movie is that opportunity that we want, that we have, and I have to explore that more deeply. And we have a physical sponsorship already, so
it's amazing.
We're taking donations right now.
Yeah.
It's
Please
open.
donate. Yeah. That's
or
amazing.
yeah, people, if you're interested in finding more about this, yeah, we submitted to the. I don't know if you guys know the Gotham,
Yeah.
the market.
Yeah.
We've sent it. Let's see. Hopefully, what happens.
Yeah.
Maybe we meet
Yeah. In
some
the
people.
fall. Yeah.
Meet some people here.
That'd be great. Yeah.
But
It's a tough time for independent filmmakers, but I like to believe that right now there is a shift happening.
Mhm.
And I think people are, first off, they're going to see more movies, which is really exciting. And then, more movies that are smaller are doing better at the box office.
Yeah.
And I think that
Yeah,
is
yeah,
it's
yeah,
a
and what
really
happened now
great
with
thing.
especially in the U.S.
With Obsession,
Yeah.
with, even other films that are just that are outperforming what people think. Maybe they're not becoming as big as Obsession, 'cause that's an anomaly.
Yeah.
But movies that are bringing in $3, $4, $5 million at the box office when maybe people were projecting 800,000 or $1 million. And it's like
there is something happening, and
It's something
funny
happening.
enough,
It's
it's
great.
also happening back home in another crazy way, or maybe it's just me being stupid connecting it. But the festival, the Habitual Cine, the guys, all the crew, the team, they didn't expect it. They sold out almost everything.
That's amazing.
And they had to put a lot. They put a lot of screenings for free because they didn't know it. They thought, oh, Thursday at 4, no one's
No one's
going
gonna
to
show up.
Some people stayed out.
Wow.
People stayed out. The first, the
Amazing.
opening that they play Barrio Triste, the film that this guy Steels, I think is the one who worked with Baboni made. 250 people. The closing
Wow.
film was Lucrecia Martel's new film documentary. Also was, people. Yeah, I think people hopefully they want to keep going back.
It's
to
a
the
little shift.
cinema,
Yeah, I think so.
That's
I don't
really
know. We go to the cinema so often, so I always feel like, for us, we're like, well, we're going. I'm sure there's other people going, but it's exciting to see, like, even these big publications in the U.S. talking about, Gen Z is going to the movie theaters more than any other generation has gone in the last 20 years. And that's amazing. To see that shift happening where people are actually going to see movies, even the big ones, right? Like, it doesn't even matter, even if they're the multi-million-dollar, big box office type movies. But like the fact that people are just going to the cinema means that they're going to experience
and eventually
Change
that
everything.
helps because
Yeah.
sometimes one of them, a couple, is gonna say, I don't even fucking know what's going on. Let's just
Yeah,
go, and
let's
then
go
they
see this thing.
they go in and they see the weirdest ass movie, and
Yeah.
and
then
they
love
pay
it.
the ticket,
And then they love it.
or
too.
maybe they hate it,
Yeah, or
but
maybe
maybe
they-
some
yeah.
friend gets excited because they hate it so much, and they
Yeah.
go, it doesn't matter,
Yeah. It's just
I-
going to see cinema.
not-
Like, that's what I love about art so much is that, like, you don't need to love it. You can walk out of there hating the thing.
Yeah,
You can walk
yeah.
out of there loving the thing.
Yeah.
But it's like just the fact that you go and support it is keeping an industry alive. And to
Yeah.
me, the industry that is the most human. Art is so important to our experience, how we process things, how
Yeah.
we live our life every day. So
No,
yeah,
absolutely.
I
And
feel confident.
I've always thought that that any kind of movie, from the most classic to the most abstract or whatever the opposite of that is, everyone, it's for everyone. I don't believe in the weird stuff it's reserved for, no, anyone can. I think they underestimate audiences all the time because it's convenient, because of money and other problematics, but I really truly believe there is space to show all kinds of stuff and people can show up. It's not undermining anyone's ability to reflect on something. Yeah, they do it
Yeah.
all the time, but I think
Sure.
maybe it's changing something. Who knows?
Hopefully. I hope so.
I know.
I really hope so. Yeah, for the sake of all of us and all of our movies that we're trying to make, I hope that the tides keep shifting.
I
in
hope.
this
I feel
way.
bad for the musicians too.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
the money used to be on the albums. Our money used to be in the tickets, and now it's like, fuck.
now they're
it's another
making.
world.
Yeah, now artists
It's
are making
weird
less
because
money.
we're grappling with this strange thing where everything's more accessible, but the people who are making it are not benefiting from the number of people who are seeing it is increasing, but also the amount people are getting paid is decreasing, and it's that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because the accessibility is created systemically by the wrong people.
Yeah.
Yes,
So at the end, it doesn't matter if everything is accessible, and it's a loop.
it's
Yeah.
that middleman
fucking
who
us
creates
over.
the accessibility that takes all the money, and then the
Doesn't
artists
matter.
themselves.
Like that's
people
why
are seeing
you
their
tell
stuff,
people
but-
that are not in the film study, it's like how you have how is it possible that you think it's normal that you go in and you pay for Netflix? I don't know how Netflix. I don't have it. $20.
Like 20-ish, yeah, 20.
And you
25.
have a million movies. You can't. That's not right. It's impossible. You cannot like. Of course we're fucked. How can you're not fucked? You have 20 million movies.
How could you value art that way? Yeah,
I know.
yeah, it's
same
insane.
with, and we are fucked too. I use Spotify. They're was horrible, but
No, but that's the
time
thing. It's like,
to.
I know.
To think, we're all part of the problem in a way, but.
And it's one of those things where it's like the problem has already been created. There's almost nothing we can do about not using these things because they're part of our life. And it's like something like Spotify, something like, YouTube even, where like all these things, they're free platforms. They're platforms that are benefiting off of the artists or the creators and all that. Now YouTube has ads on everything. It doesn't even matter. And you don't make any money off of it. Even though there's 5 ads on your video, you know? So
exactly. Now you're not even.
Yeah, you don't even have the choice anymore. So it's like, but you're at a point, and I think creatives we have to do everything we can to support each other, because at the end of the day, the average consumer does not know what is going on in the industry. They don't understand. All they know is, whoa, cool, now I can listen to an album from the 70s and then right after listen to the newest album that came out yesterday in a matter of one swipe. Fantastic. It's easier for me. But I think the artists, we know the issue, we know the problem, and even if we are using it, even if we are participating and I have no problem wanting to work with a big streamer one day and make a movie with the streamer, but it's the idea of supporting one another as best as we can and building our communities and saying, hey, how can we lift each other up?
No, totally. I was using this phrase, now I have it stuck in my mind. I was using it back home a lot to that you have to you're gonna get shot. It's impossible, you're gonna but then I guess you have to kind of learn or try to get the shot like in the feet or in here, or maybe in the side and not in the head. You know what I mean? Like,
I get you.
Like you can't. There you have to come. Like there is being alive in this world that it's so messed up. You have to, And if you want to create stuff, you have to You're gonna get shot. I see it too. Also with always in conflict with the thing of like Venezuela, and with the thing of in the art house world more than in the U.S. We depend so much on Europe. Yeah. As a monolith of art house power. Mm-hmm. You have it with all the festivals now that I've been going back to. I've been in Locarno 2 times. Like you see the thing, like you depend on them, and it sucks. But also like it's impossible to almost impossible. Maybe someone more radical, more ethical than me can make it. But if you're trying to make something, you have to compromise some stuff about like, okay, yes, I need to show my films in Europe first because that gives me more exposure and it's better. But I wish we had that more in Latin America. Yeah, we have some great spaces still, but this prestige 100%. And this stuff and
it comes from this one place in the world where really, in reality, it's coming from all over.
Coming from all over. So hopefully that also changes, that we can get even for example in New York, that you do have the big festivals, but I think still we could have a cooler, more interesting festival that really represents the city. Like I think in the 60s, I'm probably fucking it up, but there was the New York Underground Film Festival. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Because the Lincoln Center one is like,
no, but
you
all
cannot
these
even
festivals,
submit a film, and then Tribeca is very commercial.
Yeah, and Tribeca's become, they took away the word film out of their festival. Now it's just called Tribeca Festival.
They have like
they have musicians, they got games, they got VR experiences. It's no longer films, and obviously they put an emphasis on the movies, but like. Yeah, I think these days things are shifting. I think a lot of the American festivals are going through this really big commercial change.
Yeah,
and
I think
that's Sundance, and So I mean, I think we need more. We need more festivals, but we also need to lift up. I think the ones that exist that are so underground that just haven't gotten the opportunity yet because people think, but that's so small. I don't want to go to this. I don't want to submit to this. I think we as filmmakers have to be like, hey, you know what? Our films should play at these local festivals, and we should emphasize
that's on us because we have to take the risk to submit to the smaller ones. I've always done because it's I don't have a career of coming from the beginning of like being in a super crazy selection on a festival like that. Sitges is good, but it's not like, it's not Cannes, it's not Venice, whatever.
Yeah.
So we have to
We gotta
submit, for example, I don't know, Florida Film Festival.
Yeah,
They do a good job. Submit,
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to premiere your film there.
Exactly.
Because at the end, right now, we're in the crisis of the films don't make money, so we have to.
Yeah.
I think risk even more.
I think so too. I think it's the same way that we as filmmakers are hoping to find the people that will take a chance on our projects. We have the ability to take a chance on these festivals and help, like, if we do premiere a film that we've worked really hard on at this festival, hopefully that will help elevate the festival to get more eyes on that, to get some press, to get whatever. Like, we can give back in that way, in the way that we're hoping people will give back to us.
Forget the programming. Your show creates the festival.
Yeah.
Like, we were now in the Brooklyn Film Festival. I've been already 3 times.
Yeah.
And Sarah, who programs the experimental section, she likes my movie. And I'm like, she's doing a really, really cool job on the experimental section. And you see the films that are getting. And I was back home, but Eduardo, that is here, my producing partner, he went to a bunch of them. He went to all the screenings of the festival, and they sold out all the experimental screenings.
That's amazing.
Sold out, and it's weird movies, for a crowd. It's all sold out. They're doing really cool stuff. And so I'm always like, Diego, you want to do it at Brooklyn Festival? Yes, of course. Yeah. It's not the New York Film Festival, but
it doesn't matter. Yeah. Sometimes we just gotta take those risks, take those jumps, and you said it right. It's like we program the festivals in the sense where, like, it's up to us to make the movies, and it's up to us to submit those movies. Yes. And if we don't do that as filmmakers, then these festivals can't grow either. So it's a challenging balance, though, because then also you got to play the game a little bit, and you got to also say, okay, but I got a film that maybe could be a contender at one of these festivals. So it's the balance of it all. But I think we got to put more emphasis. Festivals, small exhibitors, independent cinemas.
Yeah, micro cinemas in New York.
Exactly. There's so many here.
I think it's the place in the U.S. with more micro cinemas.
Yep.
And there are a lot of cool stuff, and they do incredible work. I wish they had more funding too from the state and more stuff, but because they really they keep it alive for real.
Keep it alive for sure.
Yes.
Well, my friend, thank you so much for hopping on our show today and talking with us. Thank you for dealing with our noisy neighbors here at our HQ. That's been an interesting journey with this episode. But tell the audience where they can find you, where they can follow you, and where they could support your projects. I know you said you have some projects looking for funding.
I would say I'm 90% just picking the devil of Instagram as my only kind of social media. So I'm very active there. It's Diego _SOCE, and there you can see the account of El Fantasma, our studio collective, and also inside El Fantasma's account, which is, if I'm not mistaken, at El Fantasma Films.
And we'll link everything below too. So.
There's a fiscal sponsorship there active, which we got it from the Lower East Side Film Festival.
Nice.
Pretty cool people. And don't be shy. I literally started everything I started is because I just reading emails and DMing people like crazy. I really have no shame on that.
Yeah.
And trying to reach. We are doing a lot of consultancies and helping films, especially shorts, in the post to kind of like manage and create a flow of, like, if you really have a tight budget, if you have a medium budget, kind of like find the people depending on your budget and allow that flexibility,
Yeah, that's great.
And all about networking and system and stuff like that. And just to have, just keep always trying to make weirder stuff, don't be afraid.
I love it. Make weird stuff.
Love it.
It's amazing. Diego, thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate it. Round of applause for Diego.
Thank you so much, everybody, for watching this week's episode of CK Cafe with the wonderful Diego.
It was really amazing chatting with him. I think it's always so great hearing people's perspectives that aren't from this country, that come and live in this country for some time, and hearing how he has sort of had to adapt to the way we do things in this country as far as our interesting filmmaking system. It's really cool. And, we talked a little bit about his perspective and how that, I think, is going to inform so much of his filmmaking from here on. And I love what he's creating. I think it's really
wonderful.
great. Really
I
great.
think it's so cool too. Like, me being from England, you being from El Salvador, Annabella being from Venezuela, like it's so cool that our team is made up of so many people from all over the world, and to talk to people who are also from other places kind of reminds me that like what makes this country so special is that we all have these different life experiences from different places, and then we all come together to make what is like the US filmscape, which is
It's really cool.
just people and their like authentic experiences from where they're from, where their family's from, and bringing it all together into where we are now,
Really
into our
incredible.
shared space. I think it's really special.
It's so special. And yeah, we got to, I think at the end of the episode, we're really talking about supporting independent film. And I think it is really important that everyone supports independent art in general, everywhere, wherever they can, whether that's going to see a local concert, go to your local bar and go listen to the cover band, go listen to whatever local artist is playing their original music, go support an art gallery or a photography showcase or
because I think one of my big takeaways from this is that when film or music or whatever art you have makes it onto the online space where it's sort of accessible to everybody, it's watered down more and more the way that the artist can see the fruit of that labor.
Yeah.
So I think the best way to support your independent artists of your community and your friends is to physically show up as best you can in those screenings and festivals and music venues and art galleries and everything that you can like physically show up to. I think is so important.
Super special.
And it puts more dollars in the pockets of the artists who are creating it so that they can continue to create. And that can be their livelihood. Because at the end of the day, you make your best art when your art can be your full-time thing.
Yeah, when you can fully focus on it.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Well, thank you everyone so much for joining once again on CK Café. We'll see you more next week, but in between then, please make sure you follow our social media at CK Productions NY. Check out our Substack. Check out everything that we have to offer online. We have a YouTube channel where we drop monthly shorts. And also, you watch this, so maybe you're watching on YouTube. I don't know. And if you listen to this, make sure that you leave us a review on podcast platforms. It's really, really helpful if you can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcast. Thank you once again to Diego for hopping on. Make sure you follow and support all of his work.
Yes.
And we'll see you very soon.
Stay creative, kids.
Yeah.